The rapid rise of artificial intelligence has transformed data centers into the backbone of the digital economy, but it has also exposed serious cracks in global infrastructure. AI training and inference require enormous amounts of electricity, cooling, and specialized hardware. As a result, data centers are running into limits that extend far beyond computing power. The most immediate challenge is electricity. This represents a major constraint for global power grids. In the United States alone, data center power demand is expected to more than double from roughly 31 gigawatts in 2025 to around 66 gigawatts by 2027. Utilities are struggling to keep pace, with many new facilities facing years of waiting before they can connect to the electrical grid. At the same time, shortages of transformers and other critical electrical equipment have created major bottlenecks. These constraints have become so severe that an estimated 30 to 50% or more of planned data cooling these massive facilities presents another growing problem. Many modern data centers rely on evaporative cooling systems that consume enormous amounts of water. In North America alone, data centers use nearly 1 trillion liters of water during 2025. This heavy demand places increasing pressure on local water supplies, especially in drought-prone regions, leading to growing resistance from communities, environmental groups, and investors. Construction has become increasingly difficult as well. Essential components such as transformers and switchgear remain in short supply, while qualified electrical workers are difficult to find. Lengthy permitting processes, environmental reviews, and local opposition over concerns about noise, traffic, and land use have slowed many projects before construction can even begin. These challenges have also fueled environmental and social criticism. Data centers powered by fossil fuel-intensive electrical grids contribute to rising carbon emissions, while their growing land requirements and high electricity consumption often translate into increased utility costs for nearby residents. As communities become more aware of these impacts, opposition to large-scale developments continues to grow, creating additional regulatory hurdles. Economic uncertainty adds another layer of risk. Major technology companies are investing hundreds of billions of dollars to expand AI infrastructure. However, if AI demand slows or future technological advances make computing dramatically more efficient, many of these expensive facilities could become underutilized, leaving companies with stranded assets. In response, the world's largest technology companies have begun pursuing several ambitious strategies. Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and Meta are making significant investments in nuclear energy to secure reliable long-term electricity supplies. Microsoft has partnered to restart the 3 Mile Island nuclear reactor, while Amazon and other companies are supporting small modular reactor development and purchasing electricity directly from nuclear power plants. These companies are also aggressively expanding renewable energy through large solar and wind agreements, while combining them with battery storage and on-site power generation to reduce dependence on overloaded electrical grids. Improvements in liquid cooling, immersion cooling, and closed-loop cooling systems aim to reduce water consumption, while more efficient computer chips and software seek to lower energy use. Investors have also pushed for greater transparency regarding electricity and water consumption at individual facilities. Tesla has focused on addressing one of the industry's biggest weaknesses through its energy business. Its Megapack battery systems are designed to stabilize electrical grids by storing excess renewable energy, reducing peak demand, and providing backup power during periods of heavy electricity use. These battery systems allow data centers to operate more effectively within constrained electrical networks while also supporting the surrounding grid. Some AI-focused facilities are already incorporating Megapacks as part of their infrastructure. However, Tesla has also encountered many of the same challenges it hopes to solve. Its Dojo AI supercomputer project experienced construction delays and power infrastructure problems before the company ultimately shifted much of its AI hardware strategy toward chips supplied by NVIDIA, AMD, and Samsung. SpaceX has proposed an even more ambitious concept by exploring orbital AI data centers. Instead of building ever larger facilities on Earth, the company envisions satellites equipped with powerful computing hardware operating in space. Solar panels would provide continuous energy, while the vacuum of space would allow heat to dissipate through radiative cooling without requiring water. High-speed Starlink and laser communication systems would connect these orbital computers with users on Earth. Other companies are tackling the problem from different directions. NVIDIA and other semiconductor manufacturers continue improving the energy efficiency of AI processors, delivering more computing performance for every watt consumed. Some organizations are adopting immersion cooling technologies, while others are locating data centers near hydroelectric dams or nuclear power plants. A number of operators are also building natural gas-powered generation directly on site to bypass overloaded electrical grids. Despite these initiatives, critics argue that many of the industry's proposed solutions are either too slow, too expensive, or primarily intended to improve public perception rather than solve immediate problems. Nuclear energy, while promising, illustrates this concern. Restarting aging reactors and constructing new small modular reactors involves years of regulatory approvals, financing challenges, and public opposition. Even under optimistic assumptions, meaningful new generating capacity is unlikely to arrive before the early 2030s. That offers little help for projects already being delayed or cancelled today because of electricity shortages. Battery storage also has important limitations. Tesla's Megapacks provide genuine benefits by smoothing fluctuations in renewable energy production and helping balance electrical demand. However, batteries do not generate electricity. They merely store and redistribute existing power. Tesla's own difficulties with the Dojo project further demonstrate that no company is immune to the infrastructure challenges facing the industry. Space-based data centers remain even more controversial. Although the concept is technically intriguing, enormous engineering obstacles remain. Radiative cooling systems require large and complex radiator surfaces. Electronic components degrade under constant exposure to space radiation, and launching computing hardware into orbit remains extraordinarily expensive. Current cost estimates suggest orbital computing could remain several times to more than 70 times more expensive than comparable terrestrial facilities when accounting for launch expenses, limited operational lifespans, maintenance challenges, and communication constraints. Existing proposals also operate on a scale far smaller than the enormous gigawatt-class data centers being built on Earth. Environmental claims have also attracted skepticism. Critics argue that renewable energy purchasing agreements do not always result in equivalent new clean energy production or match electricity consumption in real time. Water usage disclosures often remain incomplete, while local communities continue bearing the costs of increased electricity demand and strained water resources. Efficiency improvements certainly reduce energy consumption per computation, but they may also encourage even greater AI usage, a phenomenon economists describe as Javon's paradox, where improved efficiency ultimately leads to higher overall consumption. Looking beyond individual companies, many analysts believe today's crisis reflects decades of underinvestment in power grids, transmission networks, and permitting systems. Large technology firms possess the financial resources to accelerate improvements, yet critics argue they often prioritize highly visible projects while much of the infrastructure burden falls on utilities, governments, and local communities. At the same time, widespread project delays and cancellations may also signal that the market is beginning to moderate expectations for AI growth as models become more efficient and inference costs decline. Viewed through this more skeptical lens, Tesla's Megapacks represent one of the few practical, near-term solutions because they can immediately improve grid stability. Big Tech's investments in nuclear energy point in the right direction, but will likely take many years before delivering meaningful capacity. SpaceX's vision of orbital data centers remains an ambitious, long-term possibility rather than a practical solution for today's infrastructure shortages. Ultimately, the industry's most publicized innovations often appear to manage the symptoms rather than eliminate the underlying causes. Lasting progress will require faster expansion of reliable electricity generation, significant upgrades to transmission infrastructure, smarter management of AI demand, and greater transparency about the true economic and environmental costs of the AI revolution. The The data center crisis is real, but many of the proposed solutions remain works in progress rather than transformative breakthroughs.